Hey everybody. So as most of you guys know, I've been playing a lot of Outbreak lately, trying to speedrun the Easter egg and just enjoy the Easter egg in general. It's probably the best Easter egg we've gotten so far, especially with how difficult it is. And with a lot of the weapon changes that have come lately, I've done a lot of testing to see kind of what's good and what isn't good, and I've settled on a couple of guns that I think are probably the best, particularly for solo. But I do have some other suggestions for if you're not solo. So the first weapon of two is the Hower, and the second is the Hower. Nah, I'm just kidding. This guy is not on top anymore. He's just not as good as he used to be. He got nerfed, and the ammo is less, the reload is slower, the pump action on the shotgun is slower, and overall, it's still powerful, but it's balanced to probably about where it should have been in the first place, and is no longer the king. The first recommendation that I do actually want to make is going to be the M16. We all know that this thing shreds. We've seen it get world records and X-World records on all kinds of speedruns for Easter eggs and other things. And the only drawback to using a tactical rifle is that it focuses on reduced movement speed, reduced aim movement speed, those kinds of things to slow you down. That's what you get in exchange for the firepower. So the attachments I've tested and settled on focus on making sure that you're maximizing your speed and firepower as much as possible. Now, first off, the optic doesn't really matter. This is preference. I just like the 3x so that I can focus on the boss and aim into his weak point in the center of his chest where you can hit him for non-armored damage. But really pick whatever you like, whatever you're comfortable with. These other attachments, everything after this, I would highly recommend. The flash guard has no drawback whatsoever to it. It's just increased equipment drop rate. The barrel, the task force, it doesn't have that drawback of reduced ammo. You just get more damage and range and bullet velocity, and it's the only choice for tactical rifles. It's the only class that it is really good for anymore. The body, we got the Ember sighting point to increase our hipfire accuracy because this thing is good when it's shot hipfire, believe it or not. It's a 6-round burst when it gets pack-punched, and it absolutely devastates any horde of zombies that's in front of you. The underbarrel, we're going to go with the bruiser grip because it increases our movement speed, sprinting speed, shooting speed, and our aim while walking movement speed. So in general, and there's no drawback, so in general, hands down the best choice in my book. 54-round mag to maximize ammo. Serpent wrap, because we lose shooting movement speed with the airborne elastic wrap, where with the serpent wrap we don't. So I'd rather not lose that shooting movement speed. That all adds up. And then the stock, kind of the same thing. We get a boost of shooting movement speed, whereas with the Raider pad, we only get sprint to fire time. And then here we get 78% aim walking movement speed increase. That is massive. That is huge. This stock is highly underrated. So yeah, definitely check these attachments out. The second gun I'm going to recommend, it's probably a pretty obvious choice, the Gallo. It's back on top. The king is back, baby. We all know it. We all love it, and we're glad that it's powerful again. Now, the attachments kind of vary for this one a little bit because they do different things on shotguns versus tac rifles and other classes. With the V-Choke, we get a tighter ADS spread on the barrel. So we want to use that so that we can ADS and focus on the boss's chest, and then when he breaks, ADS on the orbs, and then we're focusing all that fire into that small little circle and doing the maximum amount of damage possible. Now, the barrel is going to be controversial, and some of you guys are going to hate me for this, but it's not the task force barrel. It's actually the reinforced heavy barrel. It does more damage per second. Plus, you get a boost in your range. You get a 12% boost in range, and I've noticed that there were times when I was using the task force barrel, shooting at the boss, not even getting any hit markers or floating damage numbers. Put this thing on, those things start showing up because I have an increased range. The fire rate also goes up. So with this thing being fully automatic when it's pack-a-punched, you increase the fire rate on it. It's going to do massive damage to the boss. If it's legendary tier pack-a-punch 3, it's going to absolutely shred any horde of zombies that comes at you. So give it a try for yourself. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like it or not. But it's what I'm rocking right now. It's over the task force barrel. Ember sighting point, just more salvage and hip fire accuracy. 12 round tube for maximum ammo. We don't need a handle for this thing. I'd rather have a stock where we get sprinting speed, shooting speed, sprint to fire time, aim walking movement speed. So yeah, these are the attachments I kind of settled on. And for you guys who aren't aware, they have basically implemented a feature that lets you create your own blueprints. So when you're here in the gunsmith putting on your attachments, if you press LT for custom mod options, you can name this mod as if it was its own blueprint and save it. And at the end of the video, I'll go ahead and go into a game and show you guys how that works. So as far as other recommendations, the first time I ever beat the boss was actually with the Street Sweeper. This thing is an absolute wreckfest, and I love this gun. If you don't like this gun, that's fine, but you should at least try it and see if you like it. It is hands down the worst gun in the game before it's pack-a-punched, and then when it becomes pack-a-punched, it becomes the best gun in the game, in my opinion. So similar attachments here. We're running the V-Choke for the ADS spread, the increased damage range and fire rate, which we might not need, but oh well, it's good. And then we have the Ember sighting point again, 18 round drum to increase our ammo count, and then the marathon stock for all that movement speed. So pretty much the same as the the Gallo. And then the only other recommendation I would make for the boss fight, if you're not playing solo, you're playing with friends, or you're brave enough to play with randos, load in with a ballistic knife, and then find one of these other weapons in the game and apply your custom class to it. If you didn't know, the ballistic knife, when it's pack-a-punched, you can shoot it at a down teamed mate and it will instantly revive them. That's a feature that was in Black Ops 1 Zombies and Black Ops 2 Zombies that we haven't seen since then. And to have this back is probably the coolest thing ever. So if you have the ballistic knife, spawn in with that bad boy, only pack-a-punch it once, and then focus on upgrading your other weapon entirely. So I'm going to go ahead and get into a game of D Machina, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how this custom blueprint works. Alright, so I went ahead and spawned into a game of D Machina with the Gallo that I wanted as my custom class. And then we're going to go over here to this M16. And as you can see here, we got a 2x sight, 30 round mag. I don't know what else is on this thing, but if I press start, go to apply blueprint, tab over to custom mods, I can pick OP. This is the one you guys saw in my create a class section. There's my dark ether, there's my 3x scope, there's my 54 round mag, and all the other attachments that I put on it. So if you guys have guns that you like using in Outbreak, you get 10 slots. So go ahead and take all your favorite guns, make a blueprint for them. That way, if you come across a really good tiered weapon in Outbreak early on in the game, pick it up, put the attachments you want on it, and then use it for the rest of the game. So I hope all of this advice helped anybody out there who might be struggling with the Easter egg, or maybe you learned some new things to make it a little bit easier for you. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.